Quite frankly, the red wolf should be considered an American icon. This animal's historic range was entirely confined within what is now the United States. Unlike gray wolves, red wolves never quite made it up into Canada. They never quite made it down into Mexico. They are really, in essence, the all-American wolf. And tragically, they're suffering from a number of misconceptions surrounding hybridization issues, genetic issues, and they are altogether facing extinction in the wild at the hands of the agency tasked with recovering this animal.
It's often said that hybridization is the great threat to the recovery of sustainable red wolf population. I disagree with that, and that's for a number of reasons. One, we know that even when hybridization has occurred, it hasn't had such a deleterious effect on the genetics of the red wolf that it couldn't be mitigated, and we have the tools to mitigate it.
So another unique challenge that the red wolf faces is the question of its genetic history. There's two predominant theories, the first of which that says that the red wolf and other North American canids share a common ancestor, but then at some point the red wolf branched off and became its own species. The second theory is that the red wolf is kind of a super hybrid between a southeastern gray wolf and a coyote. It doesn't really matter which theory you subscribe to. There's scientific basis for both of them. The fact of the matter is the Endangered Species Act says that it's protected under both of those structures.
We believe there is enough scientific evidence that the red wolf has been treated as and will be continued to be treated as a separate species. That's based on both genetics, behavioral, taxonomic, and other criteria.
You hear a lot about coyotes and all of those issues, but by far the biggest threat to red wolf recovery is simply the way in which these red wolves are being managed. And to understand this issue, we have to go back a number of years, because for about 3 decades, the recovery effort was managed by biologists on the ground in the recovery area. And they grew the program into a success. Only 10 years ago, we had nearly 150 red wolves roaming the wilds of eastern North Carolina. All that has since changed, and it began around 2013, 2014, when regional administrators for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service out of Atlanta stripped control of the program from the recovery biologists, and caving to pressure from the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission and a few private landowners opposed to the program, those administrators then abandoned the adaptive management strategy. They pretty much eliminated poaching enforcement, despite the fact that that's really become an epidemic. They allowed some landowners to shoot wolves, and for some time they were also removing red wolves from private property. And through all of that, we lost around 75 wolves in 2 to 3 years. And to make matters worse, the agency has now proposed just gutting the wild recovery effort altogether. Specifically, they've proposed shrinking the red wolf's current wild territory by about 90%, confining one wolf pack to one very small wildlife refuge, and then sending all the other wolves off to zoos. And it should be said that the science doesn't even remotely support this proposal. And in fact, a number of scientists were so disturbed by this that they went public and they called out Fish and Wildlife on this proposal.
You know, it's just really sad that we have 30 years of scientific research and analysis and experience, and all of it shows a way forward. We just have to do it.
Conservation takes time. It took us over 100 years to drive this critter to the brink of extinction. it may well take us longer than that to bring it back. So to give up now with only 30 years under our belt would be a tragic, tragic mistake.